What's up, everybody? This is The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris. We got Haley the Bear.
That's me.
Producer Josh.
That's me.
And Ryan from Miami.
4 teams from the bubble. Once again in the conference finals. Guess it wasn't such a fluke after all.
Man, we'll get into it, but it's so shocking to me that, like, everyone is unhappy with these teams being back in.
I love it.
And, yeah.
Let's go.
How about that poll?
Oh, yeah, polls. We love polls because they're so much fun.
I don't know how you're not ready for
and
this
we do
at
them
all.
every week.
See, this is what we do. We do them on the so this is how you participate in the polls, and it's really easy to do this. So you go on Twitter, and it's the Quad with CY, and we post them each and every week when we do this. And so what you can do is you can go there and you can participate in the polls, which is so much fun to do.
I could literally pull it up
and
faster.
So the ultimate breakfast drink was the poll from this past week,
And it was.
and at 52.6% of the vote, coffee, love you guys, was the winner here. Orange juice was a second at 33%. Only 3% of people actually like grapefruit juice as their breakfast drink, which is probably predictable.
I said no one liked it besides me.
I go back to the same thing as I think people are conflating the issue just a touch here.
I was interested that water got 10% of the vote. People do like to get hydrated in the morning.
But again,
very
I
important.
think people are saying, oh, coffee because I need my caffeine to get going. That was not really the spirit in which we were asking the question.
Speaking of water, if Core is listening,
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Josh is
waiting.
still here.
I'm still waiting for you.
Water is wet.
That is true. Yes, water is wet.
That will not be your campaign slogan, I promise.
Why not? Water is wet.
No.
No.
Okay, let's go to sports.
Sports!
There is so much to dive into. Heat and the Lakers still in it, baby.
Yes, they are.
They are still in it.
Could have a 2020 finals rematch.
We could. I very much doubt that. That being said, I get to say when I was right and when I was wrong. And boy, the 76ers, whoo, that was bad last night.
Did you see Joel Embiid's comments afterwards, too?
No.
Oh, it was bad.
What did he say?
He basically threw his entire team other than James Harden under the bus.
He said, me and James need more help. Everyone needs to step up and make more shots. We can't do it alone.
It's 5-on-5 for a reason.
I mean, he's not wrong.
They did combine for 8 for 26, I think, from the field in that elimination game.
Wait. See, you're going to be just like you always are, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean this as your friend. You are a prisoner of the moment. You are literally cherry picking the worst possible game those two have played almost the entire season.
Not cherry picking, presenting.
You're cherry picking.
Offering up.
You are cherry picking.
Putting it in front of you.
You are cherry picking this game, and you can use whatever verbiage you want to try and impress upon the people listening that this is the way they should think, because you are very adept at this, because you have been in sports for a long time. But I will tell you right now, I have a mute button, and I'll use it if you try to insert yourself into this conversation again. Calm down.
Tatum in.
Just mute him. Thank you.
No.
So, you did this to yourself.
Did you put me in the penalty box?
Yeah, I did. So,
I'm not talking about hockey.
You can unmute him. But not yet. We'll get there, too. Look, they do need help. I think the reason they shot so poorly, and it's very easy to look at that stat in the NBA and say, oh, so-and-so was 4 for 18, when you don't realize that they're being collapsed upon by the other team because literally no one else on their team can make a shot. You look at the fact that Embiid was never healthy this entire stretch, and a lot of other players get a pass for that. Embiid is the one that gets leaned on. You don't talk about the fact that with him as the primary defender on other people from the other team, they almost didn't score at all. It's inexcusable to go 10 points in a third quarter. All right? I'm not excusing that. It was a very bad game.
It's bad to not score for 7 straight minutes.
You're also not looking at the fact that James Harden is getting so much flack this morning. They're like, he's not even a number 2. James Harden won them
2 of the games.
2 of the games by himself, pretty much. Which
Game
everybody...
1 and game 4. Yep.
Yeah, everyone immediately forgets that he did this and put the team on his back, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe James Harden did that." Now James Harden's getting crushed after last night, and Philly gonna Philly, and everybody's just leaning into that narrative. And yes, that is a narrative. I can use that word. I'm not on Around the Horn on ESPN.
You can be,
and it's just shocking to me that we immediately dismiss all of that. You dismiss everything they were able to accomplish. Who are the other people that stepped up on that team? If you can tell me one of them, one.
PJ Tucker hit 3 threes in the first quarter and then not anything for the rest of the game.
Former Miami Heat legend, PJ Tucker.
He's playing on a bunch of teams. You can't claim him on the Miami Heat, Ryan, just because he's on the team 2
claim him
seasons
as a
ago.
legend.
Yeah, he's not a legend.
Some have been saying
Mario Chalmers is more
legend,
of a Miami Heat legend.
So is Eddie Jones, for the record. But
so I'm not going to do this with you.
Yeah, I just want to go into. I 100% was wrong. My call was that they would end up winning this series. They did not. And I'm not trying to lay it at the feet of the refs, but the thing that's getting forgotten is the previous game. They did a little audit.
13 missed or disadvantage calls against the 76ers.
In a tight game.
6 of those go their way. It's a completely different.
The game's over.
Boston is we're talking about, is Boston going to blow up the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown duo? That's what we would be talking about.
We're still talking about that.
I know, and they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're still talking about it. But it is I don't know who to lay the blame at. Joel was not healthy. James Harden has not had a great track record in Game 7s. Doc Rivers has not had a great track record in Game 7s. Also, Jason Tatum just went out of his mind and scored 51. So, like, sometimes it's just that. It's just someone played better than your team. It's hard to say.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
Literally. I do think, however, the 76ers are going to blow it up.
I mean, they have to.
can we talk about the teams that are in, the conference finals?
Is that saying that they have a 3% chance to win?
Yes, it is. The Heat, according to ESPN Analytics, have a 3% chance of reaching the NBA Finals, which I think is severely underaccounted for, given, I don't know, the best player in the series plays on the Miami Heat, which is Jimmy Butler.
No, he doesn't.
Not after last night.
Himmy. Let's talk about recency bias.
Well, there's no statistical number that you could pull out of your butt that would say that
Jimmy Butler has been far and away the best player in these playoffs.
You're just saying that now based on opinion.
That's not opinion.
Just
that's
because
fact.
he's the best player on the Heat does
in
not
the,
mean
play,
he's the
in the
best
playoffs,
player.
Nikola Jokic has had a better playoffs.
The Heat,
Devin Booker has had a better playoffs. Devin Booker's
can you
not,
name me the last 8 seed that's made the conference finals?
That's not what we're talking
upset.
about.
So how does
The
that
Lakers?
reference to Jimmy Butler? There's a
Other than
whole
the Lakers.
team
Oh,
there.
other than the Lakers.
Who have LeBron James?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Ryan.
Jimmy Butler has been far and away the best player
On the
these
Miami
playoffs,
Heat.
in these playoffs.
On the Miami
On
Heat.
the Miami Heat.
Taking
Yes.
down
I
the
like
Milwaukee
Jimmy
Bucks.
Butler. I like Jimmy Butler.
Taking down the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis. Go ahead, continue.
Easily disposing. Giannis played in 3 of the 4 losses.
He wasn't
He was there.
healthy.
3 of the 4 losses, he was
played
on the court.
Continue.
Heat in 5.
5.
I will take that.
Heat in 5.
Go ahead. I will allow this bet to.
Okay.
Yesterday was the 5th anniversary of sports betting being legalized after the overturning of the Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act from the Supreme Court. So, in honor of the 5th anniversary of that, allowing states to legalize sports betting.
There it is. There's a curveball to that because you said that and I was like, what? No.
Heat, Celtics.
Okay. So you're saying Heat in 5. I'm saying no way.
Are the Heat going to win the series at all? Or are you taking the Celtics in the series? We can
You
just go.
said-
We can go straight up. Heat or Celtics.
No. You said Heat in 5.
So
He's
he's
a
just
cocky Heat fan coming out, but yes.
Okay.
That's why sports betting's tough.
If the Heat do not close it out in 5, you're wearing a Celtics jersey.
What? Even if the Heat win the series, I still have to wear a Celtics
A
jersey?
Ray Allen Celtics
Yes,
jersey.
because you're saying,
Yeah.
you're saying Heat in 5. That is
Yeah.
your bet.
Ray Allen.
Ooh.
Boston Celtics legend, Ray Allen.
Ooh. Oh, that's dirty. All right, what's
I made
my
the greatest shot
penalty?
in NBA history as a member of the Miami Heat, though. Done.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna make this fair, and I'm regretting it.
Oh, you have to wear my medium-sized Jimmy Butler Miami Vice jersey when they win at 5?
Yeah. No, that wouldn't actually hurt my feelings.
It's a good-looking jersey.
I will. Oh, bless you. I will wear. I can't believe I'm about to say this. If the Heat win in 5, I will wear a Washington Commanders jersey.
Wow.
Is it just for a day?
It's just for one of the podcasts. Yeah.
Game.
Handshake. Hold on, we're getting it on camera and smash.
Heat in 5.
There it is.
There's still a lot of
There's
bets
no
that
way.
y'all have not lived up to, by the way.
There's no way.
We'll
There's
do
no
a
way.
day
Yeah,
of.
we're gonna do a day of reckoning where we just all
I like that. The day of reckoning.
The day of reckoning, where all the bets will be honored in a 24-hour period.
Okay.
We'll come in here and we'll try all the Skittles or whatever it
it's
was.
a bunch of gimmicks and a bunch of
do
bets that we have not done.
Yep, it'll be day of reckoning on the quad.
Can't wait for each of y'all to Smirnoff Ice.
To split a Smirnoff Ice six pack.
yes.
That is not what it was.
We,
Oh
we
my
settled.
God.
We settled with the debtors on that one.
Yeah.
We settle with the debtors.
Blech. Okay.
I already want to die.
This episode brought to you by Pepto Bismol.
Oh, my stomach just started hurting for no reason.
It's gonna be painful.
What was the
We
song?
can just.
Indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Oh my God. much better than the updated one. Why are all the updated like cartoon theme songs and
Jingles.
jingles just not good?
Because everyone gets offended.
I actually, if you go back on YouTube, you can watch some of the old school jingles, and they're so good.
They're
They're
epic.
just so good, and it gives you such nostalgia.
The new Burger King one's pretty good. That one gets stuck in my head.
I gotta be honest. Big shout out to Burger King because I initially was on team absolutely not, and then I found myself walking around going da, 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 da. Yeah, I was like, crap, it is good. Dang. So shout out to whoever wrote that jingle.
Unrelated, they're closing 400 stores in the U.S.
No, I don't think
it worked.
that's the jingle's fault.
I think the jingle tried to save them. I don't think it did enough.
Yeah,
Chicken fries are bomb, though.
I do like chicken fries.
chicken fries.
You know I like chicken fries.
Now, if only one of those good, upstanding fast food restaurants had, I don't know, an inexpensive set of meal items that's never worked in the past, or maybe a working ice cream machine.
McFlurry, we're coming at you.
We weren't saying names.
I didn't say. I did not specify.
Speaking of, I don't know if you guys caught wind of this.
Just saying, maybe somebody should bring back the frickin' snack wrap. Anyway, go ahead.
Boy, you love me.
You are on the right side of history on that one.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I heard a little birdie read a little article that a little company called In-N-Out is looking at Nashville right now.
Ooh.
I think Birdie's a tough subject on this.
In-N-Out's
podcast.
overrated.
I agree. But,
Wait, overrated?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Whataburger's way better.
We've done this already.
Yeah, we've
In-N-Out,
been down this rabbit
We,
hole.
we did the Whataburger versus In-N-Out, but I don't know if we've done the overrated In-N-Out.
Oh, it's
Oh.
100% overrated.
Yeah, I was not impressed when I went to In-N-Out.
The only reason why you think it tastes good
Because you're not supposed to order what's on the menu. You're supposed to order what's off the menu.
does not matter. The only reason you think it tastes good is because you can't get it all the time. I lived less than a quarter mile from an In-N-Out when I lived in Los Angeles. Ask me how many times I went. Twice. Once was when my parents were in town.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get way off topic, I always talk about when I win bets, which, Ryan, if you want to throw up that little sports gambling.
Yeah. By the way, it is the 5th year anniversary of the overturning of the PASP Act,
Yes,
which
yes,
allows
yes.
sports states to legalize sports betting. Sports gambling, look, you shouldn't do more than you can afford. So if you have an issue, 1-800-GAMBLER is the helpline for sports betting. I think that's a new one that just came out.
The hapless helpline.
Also, 866 bets off.
Really?
Yes.
Is that one? Okay.
Nice.
Regardless, if you have a gambling issue, please go get some help, guys.
I said that with such confidence, like I gamble a lot. I really don't.
I have a really good track record of winning a lot.
Yes, you
And
do.
I'm going to be honest. Last night, I did the thing that doubling down is fun. Double down,
Having a good time.
Yeah. Tripling down maybe is not.
Oh no.
recommended. I was watching some NHL action, and Edmonton. My big Canadian hockey fans out there. I somebody's just gonna
I love Canada.
throw something right at Ryan's head while he's on air one
I
day.
just feel bad for Canada, especially Leafs fans. I mean, like,
Anyway,
it sucks.
I bet the over, and they immediately scored 2 goals and then another goal within like the first 3 minutes of the game. So I doubled down.
On a good time.
What was the over though?
5.5.
No. It was much higher than that, actually. I think it started at 7.5.
Jeez.
Then it went to 8.5.
And then they stopped scoring.
Then it went down to 7.5, and I was like, you know what?
Capitalizing.
I think they're gonna pull the goalie way early, and there will either be an empty netter, plus just like some trash goal with them trying to make up time, or a penalty, and that historic penalty unit for the Oilers will come onto the ice.
None of that happened.
Well, one of that happened, which led to them just basically going, the game's over, and no one scoring at the end, to end the game at 7 goals.
Oh.
So I lost all 3 of those bets.
I was tripling down then.
That's what I said. Tripling down's fine. Don't triple down. Don't triple down.
I did that on. I did that on overseas.
What? Okay, wait. On what?
You betting cricket matches? What's going on over there?
No, it was overseas Chinese basketball, and you remember this night. We were actually together.
Yeah.
We were
Okay.
together. We were together, but it worked on the opposite end for me. I tripled down, and I ended up doing very well on one of the teams over there that I cannot pronounce their name. But
Yeah,
thank you for helping and assisting.
There you go, guys.
The Ryan Bass Media Fund. Thank you.
All right. There's just I love this time of year for pro sports.
It's too much though.
There's
I
a
don't have
lot
enough
going on.
bandwidth.
There's a lot going on. You don't have enough fan width.
Yeah.
I like that, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Ryan, you are a fan of everybody.
I
No
know.
wonder.
No, I know. Well, no, not true.
She's got a point.
I do have a lot of teams that I root for.
Yes,
but
you
the
do.
fan width of like, I feel like I'm trying to keep track of baseball, and then there's hockey playoffs going on. I turned on last night, and I'm like, I watched The Departed last night again, so I was like, I got to do that, and then we've got this sport and that sport, and it's just like,
Which we're about to
too
get
much.
to. We're about to get to the movie.
There's
and
too much.
I'm gonna tell you guys almost did something bad.
oh boy, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's great.
There's a lot going on. Before we jump out of sports, because it's time.
The schedule's out.
The NFL schedule release. The Titans social media person deserves a raise.
So good.
They win.
They were so good. I watched that video probably 4 times, and every single time was laughing. And the Red Stallions, the Atlanta Falcons, changed
Yes,
They changed their name on
If you
there.
don't know what we're talking about, the Titans decided to do their schedule release announcement by showing people on Broadway the logos and have them guess what the teams were.
Why?
And
I
I
am
don't know why everyone thought the Colts logo was Dallas.
They were so confident
So
in it.
good.
I
too.
am
though.
so naive in a sense of thinking of not knowing how many people out there don't pay attention to football, because in my world, everyone pays attention to football. So I'm like, how do these people not know who these logos are? Like, I guess, but also they did talk to a lot of dumb young girls that are probably hammered on Broadway.
Whoa. We don't know their intelligence level. We just know their fan width isn't with the NFL.
Well, I agree. You never assume someone's intelligence, but
But the Pirates of the Caribbean
They were
for the
on
Buccaneers was
Broadway.
pretty good,
Pirates of the Island of the
Pirates
Caribbean.
of the Island of the Caribbean.
Everyone in these videos was on the end of Broadway and seemed like they may have been partaking.
They might have been overserved.
It was excellent.
My favorite
It was
was
great.
the one that
great.
said, "That's not even a real team," and it was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It was so good.
Dude, the guy that
So
goes,
good.
it was a guy or a girl, but it was a Chester Cheeto,
Yeah.
The Chester Cheetah ones.
which, by the way, is not even the name of Chester Cheetah,
Yeah.
which is the character that he was going for.
Or it was just it was the
That was
that's just
fantastic.
the NFL logo, and it was the Browns.
It was
helmet.
the Browns helmet. I also want to say shout out to the Chargers. Lightning McQueen,
Lightning
as the lady
McQueen.
called them. The Chargers for doing their anime launch for their little jab at the Lions. Did you see that?
No.
So the anime one, they did like the very typical like transitions, and they do a bunch of nods to different for all of my anime fans out there. They did like a nod to Hunter x Hunter, and they did a nod to like very specific things. And then they did one scene where it's like the very laid back, like quiet music, and there's like just a very, very happy image on screen. And it was for the week that they're playing the Lions, and it had the gambling hotline in the right-hand corner.
Good for them.
If you don't
I
know,
love that.
a couple of their players got into trouble for gambling.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, now I remember.
Oops.
Social media teams doing well this year.
I know.
Crushing this week. Crushing. Good job, guys. Let's go to the movie. Movies. Also, everyone that I know is like has a cold.
Sorry,
Or-
I'm on a struggle bus over here, so I apologize.
It's fine. That was me last week, so I keep it over there. I don't think it's.
I think I have a massive sinus infection.
Yeah, this is
I
not.
hope you feel better.
It's like my face is throbbing.
Oh no!
It's not good.
No, this is because of the change in weather. Which, although I'm very happy it is getting warm, pollen hates me.
Oh, it's here to kill us all.
Yeah, it doesn't like me for whatever reason. Big shout out if you guys follow the podcast and you don't know about this. It has happened before where we listed a movie and someone watched the wrong film.
Was that
that was me.
almost you?
No, that was me.
It
I was Red
Ryan.
Notice on Burn Notice.
It was Ryan, but
You watched The Deported?
I almost watched The Town.
Oh,
A great
great
movie.
movie, by the way.
Great movie, not the same movie.
How far into the town before you realized that we were on The Departed?
You know what? I pulled it up, and because it was on. It was only on HBO Max, and I was like, that doesn't feel like that's the movie we picked. Like, I have a HBO Max, but like everybody else doesn't. I was like, that's really weird that we would pick that. And so I just went back and looked in the notes, and I'm like, ooh, that was not the right movie. And neither one of those movies are short, so that would have been
no, they're not.
yeah. Very, very glad to figure that out very quickly. The Departed, for those of you that did watch it on Netflix. 2006 rated R crime drama, 2 hours and 31 minutes. 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, 92% of Google users like this movie. I think that is probably understandable. It's a Scorsese film. You know what you're getting with this one. You got great actors. South Boston cop Billy Costigan goes undercover to infiltrate the organization of a gangland chief, Frank Costello. As Billy gains the mobster's trust, a career criminal named Colin Sullivan infiltrates the police department and reports on its activities to his syndicate bosses. When both organizations learn they have a mole in their midst, Billy and Colin must figure out each other's identities to save their own lives.
There's so many good iconic scenes in this film.
Yeah. Now, guys, just Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon.
Mark Wahlberg.
Just
Just
those
those.
three is enough.
And then you get Wahlberg, Martin Sheen.
Kristen Dalton.
Yeah.
You get it's Vera Farmiga is how you pronounce her
Yeah.
last name. Who's awesome.
There's a smoke show in this one.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Scorsese. Everyone wants
It
to
might
be
be
a part.
the best Scorsese film.
Well-
and that's saying something. That's saying something, but it is.
I don't
I don't know about that.
That's tough. That's tough.
From like literally the beginning of the movie where you see De Niro bang, bang right in the back of two people's heads. And then, literally the drama carries itself through the entire film.
De Niro.
Jack, what did I say? De Niro. Jack Nicholson.
I was like,
De Niro. Wow, that was a.
wait.
Well, he
Wait a
is
minute.
having
I just had a
kid
town
at the
moment.
age of
I just had a
79.
town moment. Jack Nicholson, when you see him, like just in the beginning of the film, the way kind of he's portrayed, and then like there's so many iconic scenes and lines in this film that rain down. I mean, the scene with Jack Nicholson and you have Leonardo DiCaprio and the shoe on his broken arm, right? Like that scene. You've got the cranberry juice scene, which I always find as one of my favorites in this film, in the middle of the bar. Like it carries you throughout the entire film. There's drama at every turn. And I love how they go back and forth between Damon and DiCaprio. You kind of get to see both of their vantage points throughout this film. And I think Scorsese does an incredible job of weaving in both of their stories throughout and then tying it all together.
I just think it's
a gangster
an amazing film.
It's a gangster film.
It's an amazing film. What I did not know is that this is a remake of the Hong Kong film Infernal Affairs. I did not
Interesting.
realize that.
Interesting. Where it has the dual moles.
Yeah, and so it's also interesting because in this article, I pulled up an article from ScreenRant.com. And
Our good friends at.
you're going to hit the spoiler button just if
This movie came out in like 2008.
it doesn't matter. We just talked about
2006.
this the other day. It's 2008, 2006, whichever one. Basically, like pretty much everybody's dead by the end of the movie. It says in the final scene of the remake, Wahlberg's staff sergeant, who had disappeared halfway through the movie, surprises Colin with a bullet to his head, tying up all loose ends, but also allowing for a possible Mark Wahlberg-led Departed 2. What? Who at Screen Rant thought that was that
I think
ever
it's a
even
great idea.
discussed?
I do think we
love
should
it.
do that. We should do a reboot and have a Departed 2 led by.
Oh, okay. Wait. Time out. It's linked to an article on Screen Rant published in 2022 that said Mark Wahlberg's The Departed 2 is a great idea, but is it too late? ? First of all, is it a great idea? ?
No. Yeah, the answer is no.
He's the only cast character who survives the original. It says Mark Wahlberg wanted to make a sequel. That makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. it
Where
does.
Wahlberg was like, "Oh, guys, we could do a sequel with me in the movie."
Yeah, Digman is now the
Yeah.
chief of the whole thing. Speaking of the ending of that movie, there is a scene. I mean, we hit the spoiler button. Can we talk about
Spoiler Burton.
Burton?
Spoil Burton.
This movie was ruined for me. I was on a flight back from San Francisco in 2008.
Oh man.
And someone was watching on an iPad in the seats in front of me.
Oh no.
And I was in the middle seat because tour life and didn't check in time. And so I'm just kind of like watching like the ending of the movie and the elevator scene. And it really ruins when you haven't seen the rest of the movie, how everything ends. It's very, very frustrating for me. But
Do you hit the spoiler button on that one?
Burton, see, you did it too.
Fun fact, I have not seen this movie, and I tried to watch it and immediately fell asleep.
How do you fall asleep to this movie?
Because I was
There's so much anger
There's so much Dropkick Murphys in
and
the
like
first like
profanity,
6 minutes.
and that you love that.
I've been taking medicine.
That
the
makes
cold
sense.
the cold med.
Yes.
Sleep, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
watching movies while on cold medication is definitely a different experience. You see
It
things
is.
completely different.
Oh, you see things that weren't in the movie.
Yeah, correct.
I just-
Correct.
You want to watch something fun? Watch The Fountain on Coleman.
And take NyQuil, which we don't recommend, by the way.
You will only if you're sick and only under doctor supervision.
Watch the movie 1408 and
Go watch Tenet.
Watch
after
Tenet,
taking-
yeah.
oh god,
Can you imagine?
I was
Oh my goodness.
completely with it and still struggling to keep everything together.
so
Did we love this movie? For those of us
I
that saw
love
it,
this movie.
look, I'll say I loved the first watch of this film. I still enjoyed watching it again.
So you don't agree with me that it's one of the greatest score? Whoa.
Scorsese movies. No.
Martin movies of all time?
Martin Lawrence. Bad Boys.
I do like Martin.
I mean,
Blue Streak.
Scorsese movies of all time.
look,
I
And
think
he's got a lot of bangers, but this
he
is,
won
Dude.
the Oscar for The Departed, so a jury of his peers would say that yes, this would be up there.
I'm sorry. That is time out. We're not going to do that because here's why.
Goodfellas.
No, just stop trying to guess, Ryan. I was pulling up this list. I'm doing your job for you.
Stop just yelling out
So,
things that you're Googling.
Yeah. Raging Bull, Goodfellas, The Age of Innocence was a 93 film. Taxi Driver from 76.
Casino.
Yeah, you have The Last Temptation of Christ. You have The Wolf of Wall Street.
Another.
Great film.
Aviator.
Gangs of New York.
A tough rewatch, but it is a good movie.
Yeah.
I love Gangs of New York. It's not for everyone.
Well, no. I mean, I think Shutter Island, which I think is actually
Love Shutter Island.
one of those movies that's just like, oh my God. Yeah, Casino. I mean, there's so many. That's The Departed is a fantastic film. It's definitely up there with his best. I think Raging Bull gets slept on just because it's an era film.
For sure.
Like that is prior to all of us.
I think that Wolf of Wall Street is still a little bit better than this movie, just as an overall pace, story.
Wolf of Wall Street is amazing.
It is, but so is the Departed.
Departed's great.
But you can see a lot of the lane that Scorsese likes to be in.
The Departed is more Goodfellas than it is Wolf of Wall Street,
Without
as
question.
in it is ensemble cast.
Without
Correct.
question.
The Wolf of Wall Street is very much centralized around. There is an ensemble, but it's very centralized around one character.
Scorsese likes him some Leonardo, huh?
He does.
Who doesn't, for the record?
Again, Raging Bull was from 1980.
A great film.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay. So here's our issue. The only new movie in theaters this week.
Is it a horror movie?
No, it's worse. It's Fast 10.
No,
Oh,
absolutely.
let's do it. Vin Diesel, I need it in my life.
A three-part series is what
I
it is.
need it in my life.
the last
Give me Vinny D.
the last one of these movies that I watched was Tokyo Drift, so I'm way behind.
Wasn't that the
I
That's the
don't know
third
the
one.
last
Third
one of
one.
these
That was
I
the third
watched.
one.
Give me Fast and the Furious 10.
shouldn't it have been Fast 10 Your Seatbelts?
Did I didn't send Josh this, but I sent a video of a guy that was breaking down all of the titles to these movies and how they just don't ever follow up with each other. Ever. I'll send it to the quad too because it's hilarious.
I gotta see this.
It is hilarious because they can't
Fast
ever
10 Your Seatbelts. I really like
they
that.
can't keep up with anything that they have been like keeping the same. Like it's Too Fast, Too Furious, and it wasn't even the second movie. Like it was just crazy
Okay,
how
wait.
they're doing
Dude,
it.
By the
So-
way, the old Fast and Furious soundtracks, bangers for the record.
Here's the deal. Oh, by the way, the last time there was a really big song from one of those soundtracks was "See You Again."
Also, the first movie is Fast and Furious. Then they did one that was The Fast and the Furious.
The Furious.
Yeah.
Which is that's like 8, I think. That's the 8th one.
So
Here, I'm sending it right now because
Okay.
it's so good.
There's two things that have come of this.
Family.
No, I'll get there. One, everybody was like jumping all over it because the massive spoilers have already leaked for this. Okay, just the fact that Josh was like, "Hey, it's going to be 3 parts now instead of one movie." This is supposed to be the last one. Then they're like, "It's going to be a 2-parter." Oh, we might make it a trilogy to end and wrap all this up. It's like, man, look, you've already flown a car to space and whatever. It's so convoluted. I don't even know where to go back to understand what's happening in the plot line anymore, or if there is one, which is why this makes so much sense. The second one that I'm about to get to, but the first one was they're like, wow, Rock really had to make such a bad movie in Black Adam that he would come back and be in the Fast movies after he said he'd never do it.
Black Adam was never that bad.
I didn't think it was either, but they just are crushing him online. And then, which I'm sorry, if even after what we said last week, if you haven't seen that spoiler, that's been all across every news page. Like it's been on everything. You can't even avoid it. The movie's not even out yet. Somebody also said this is what they need to do for the trilogy. You know, Vin Diesel has been notorious for being across all these movie platforms as like the same character. He goes, but if they're making a third one, they go Fast X. The second one is Fast XX.
Oh, God.
And at the end of XX,
No!
it's revealed that Dominic Toretto has a twin brother who, when they do the third and final film of the trilogy to end this massive franchise, his twin brother is revealed to be Agent Triple X, and it is Fast XXX, and that's how they wrap all of this up.
I'm Groot.
And it's just, how do you get closer to family than your actual family?
It's pretty good. What a twist that would be.
I've never wanted something more in my entire life.
It's so ridiculous it actually makes sense.
Oh my
Is this in reference to the movie Triple X?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I never
Then
watched
it's
my
it.
just
gosh.
Vin Diesel on green screen talking to himself the whole
Oh my
movie.
gosh, I want this so badly. Can we finance it ourselves?
We should. We should just cut it together, do like the fan edit
Yes.
of the, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lord. I'm very sorry.
Oh man.
So
That was
are
good.
we
What a good
doing
Monday.
that for the movie? Are we doing that for
No,
the movie?
I'm not gonna watch it because I haven't watched since Tokyo Drift, and I'm not have any interest.
I
in,
haven't either. I haven't seen any of them. I'm still in. Let's
So
do
you're not
it.
going to care if we do spoilers. Let's do it. All right. That's the movie.
What if Paul Walker
Too
comes
fat.
back? We know.
Don't do that. Do not. Do
What if
that.
he? What if he's still
Do
alive
not
in
do
the
that.
movie?
Those
somehow?
baby blue eyes. I still miss them.
It's a little CGI.
Still miss them.
his brother had to finish it.
Yeah, I don't think they can.
You think The Rock is going to go see Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious, or are they still having their little spat?
That would you just
You missed
weren't
it.
paying any attention
He's
to
in it.
the first thing I said. Yeah, it's already been
We talked about it.
reported everywhere. Let's hit music.
Music.
ACMs this weekend had a lot of fun. I say this weekend, but it was the middle of the week. It's so strange, just because it was in a different place too, with it being in Texas, which obviously I was very excited for because I have now, I've got photos of me and Dak, but now I've got a photo with Emmitt Smith, and it was just it was nice walking around
We need
feeling
to put
like
that
I
on the
was,
wall.
I
That's
mean,
cool.
we can.
That should go up on the wall here.
We could find one. We got to make sure like everybody gets a photo at some point this year with their
With Emmett?
favorite sports
Icon.
icon.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would trade mine for Tom Hanks if possible.
I've got one with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I know you did. I know you did.
Also, big shout out. You guys looking for you is moving up the charts very, very well every week. I believe this week is sitting at 26, 27.
Love it.
Yeah, sitting at number 27 on Media Base this week. I don't know what Billboard is. It didn't come in fast enough.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious. But awesome to be down there and celebrating with my buddy Mitchell Tenpenny, who walked the red carpet wearing a cowboy hat.
You should have rocked yours too.
I didn't know
You
he
really
was wearing
should
it.
have. That would've been
If
good.
I had
That'd have
known
been twinning
Mitchell,
for sure.
dude, if I had known Mitchell was going to wear a cowboy hat, I would have worn my cowboy hat. I would have brought it.
I
But-
did miss it not being in Vegas because I used to go every year in Vegas.
I love Vegas.
But-
Josh. No,
but-
Josh
but
just
I was
cutting his
waiting for the
eyes
but.
around.
I was
Go
waiting for the
ahead.
but.
Go ahead, Josh. Do you not love Vegas?
Not a fan.
Wow. Wow.
Not a fan.
Owen Wilson, wow.
Not a fan of I don't really love gambling, and I am not a fan of their sports teams. And
There,
I
the
don't
real
wait.
underlying issue comes out.
I don't think. Yeah, I was going to say.
it's context. I mean, I don't really love San Diego for that same reason. Although now that they've moved to LA, I can maybe give San Diego another chance.
Kind of give him a pass.
Yeah, Vegas feels like Times Square to me, and I don't really like Times Square.
Ooh. For
You love New
the
York,
New
too.
York loving guy that you are, I'm kind of surprised.
Oh no, I avoid Times Square like the plague.
Not even a little nostalgia for it.
I'll go to the theater district, but I will try
Yeah.
to walk whatever amount of blocks I can around to not cut through there.
Just to avoid it entirely.
Yeah, 100%. Some good food over there, but not my favorite part of the city.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I liked it being in a different place. It is kind of funny. So a bunch of the stuff that like nobody sees, the logistical like backstage part, it's so funny because there's so many emails that go back and forth making sure everybody's got the right credentials and making sure that you know where you're going. And then every time they put it in a new spot, it doesn't matter how hard they try to set up the infrastructure. It's like everybody panics day of. They're like, oh, we didn't say you could. You had. Did you pick up your credentials? But you can't pick up your credentials if you didn't pick them up on this day. And now this place is closed where you go to pick them up until the show. I'm like, well, then how would we get into the show to pick them up?
Logistics are so much fun.
Well, you can get them now, but they're inside. Well, I can't get I have to get them to go through the red carpet
go
to
inside.
get inside. So how would I be able to do that? Well,
Yeah.
I will say,
don't.
after going to last year's ACMs and how honestly bad it turned out, doing it in the Vegas arena with it being light out and kind of like Amazon not really knowing what they were doing in a sense of putting the award show together.
Oh, you mean when it was in the stadium?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this
was
one
confused
definitely
as to what.
looked better, but I still need Amazon to figure a couple more things out when it comes to putting on award shows.
It's easier to frame in an actual arena versus a stadium for sure. And you do not, like you said, have the issue of it being light outside when it starts and you being able to see that because it comes through the top of the stadium.
right.
All that being said, the one thing that's always weird to me, which I think I like, but the no commercials thing, when you're walking around, normally it's like you hold for commercial and then you sit down and then you stand up. And I had to remind myself, I was like, oh, there are no commercials. So you just kind of got to like sneak in and grab your seat.
Yep. And also, because there's no commercials, you have to assume the cameras are rolling at all times. You kind of have to like make sure that you're not like rolling your eyes at something or
We always have to do
yawning. Yeah, I know. And I'm not saying anyone would, but like,
Have the constant smile on.
yeah, you just have to kind of turn it on a little bit.
that. I like, you guys watched, right?
I
Yeah.
did not.
You didn't? No. Okay, Ryan, let me ask you this.
From a fan standpoint, like a consumer standpoint?
Yeah, just from a front-facing standpoint, the one thing that I liked that they did is they kind of limited how much back and forth Garth and Dolly had. And it, to me, was really funny because they weren't trying to be full-on comedy for the entire show and fill just a bunch of time with that. It felt like they did the big monologue intro thing at the top. It was hilarious. She brought out a goat.
Well, she has to go. So.
just like those multiple different things. And then they showed up a couple different times through the rest of the show, but that was it.
It didn't feel, for lack of a better term, as forced maybe as some of the other hosting has been in previous events. Does that make sense? Like it felt a little bit more natural.
Yes.
That's how I would put it. But I thought it was well done. And from a perspective, I didn't really take into consideration the whole taking a commercial break for what it was like on scene. Because I remember being at the ACMs last year in Vegas and how you knew when they were in break and when they were coming back from break.
Right.
So I'm sure that was a totally different experience.
No, last year was the same, Ryan.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't have commercials.
That's why all the show, like all this performances, were all over the stadium. It's because they don't have time to reset the stage. So that's why some of them were up there.
No,
but
there were timeouts though last year.
No, they didn't.
Am I thinking that
but,
differently?
But here's the thing. It felt that way last year because they had the stages spaced so far away.
That's maybe what it was.
They did not have that this year. It felt more like an arena because it was. And so I think that was, that major difference. That I really felt it this year being there.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you saw that from a viewership standpoint.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Well, you know what? I really thought they did a good job, especially with all the infrastructure stuff and everything else going on. Shout out to everybody that was working the red carpet. It was blazingly hot. It was in a tent, and they were like trying to pipe air in. So it was hot for everybody wearing a suit, and everybody was walking up and down the carpet. But we at least were in there and then out. Everybody else was just standing there interviewing people the entire time, and it was sweaty. We'll say that.
It was very humid in Texas.
Humid, as it were. Okay, what are you listening to?
I'll go first. I'm going to go with Carly Hansen, Us. It's just a good, fun song. I don't even know if I've done it before. I may have done it around year one because it's an older song, but I really like it, and it's popped up again. So Carly Hansen, Us.
I'm also going with a song that has just randomly popped up back into my shuffle through my music. The Other Side, Aerosmith.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used this song for a reference for a song that I was working on last week recording, but Andrew WK's Party Hard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Have I heard that?
I'm sure you have, even just as a bumper in like...
Do I know what you use this in reference for?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I was playing bass on someone else's record. And they're like, we want it to be, I don't know, like a party vibe, but kind of rocking. And I was like, there's only one song
There's only one thing I think of, yeah.
that we should do, and it is Andrew WK, Party Hard.
I like to play this after Heat victories every now and then.
Oh, God.
And so I started blasting it after they took down the Knicks and continued their misery there in New York City as I was celebrating in the streets of Manhattan wearing all my Miami Heat gear after they knocked out the miserable Knickerbockers. So Glenn Frey's The Heat Is On. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na.
Seriously?
Do you want...
You or me?
No, go ahead.
It's Glenn Fry.
It's not Frey.
It's not Frey.
They shouldn't spell it with an F-R-E-Y then.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's
Fry
that's
would be
tough-
F-R-I
Well,
or F-R-Y. You know.
Anyway, moving on.
The heat is on.
All that
The heat
confidence
is on.
down the drain.
Let's go to the hot take.
Now I'm craving fries, and I love fries.
I love the band The Fray, so that works
Oh,
out
the
too.
fray's great too. I like that.
Arby's.
Oh, yes.
The best.
Hot take.
No, we've
We've done that one. We've done that one. And this one is weird to frame. So it took me a second to actually think of how I wanted to say this. And that's why I left it vague when I sent it to you guys. And this is something we didn't touch on in the sports section because I wanted to come back to this for the hot take today. In major sports, I believe that we have missed possible dynasties for one reason and one reason alone.
Fan with.
The coach got fired too soon.
Oh, because there's been a lot. I see what you're saying.
there are always these cases of the head coach gets fired, new coach comes in, new blood, new energy, but the same people and the same team that the coach put together, and then they win a title.
Are you doing this based off like the last 4? I think there were 3 championship coaches that were fired recently in the NBA?
That is one of the things that brought it to the top of mind. But you see multiple different sports over the years where you see people like John Gruden, who gets accused of that.
It's a little different scenario, but yeah.
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 But how is it different?
Well, there was racism accusations, and it was in the middle of the Washington Commanders' investigation on workplace misconduct.
No, that's not. I'm talking about.
When Gruden was let go from the Raiders?
No, buddy.
Oh.
No, why would that be? The wrong coach got fired. What are you doing, Ryan?
You said
Ryan,
Gruden.
and when did Gruden win a ring?
Well, yeah.
2001 with the Bucks.
And whose team was he playing with?
Yeah. He was
Basically.
playing with the Bucks.
Yeah.
With Tony Dungy's team. Yeah.
You went way the other direction.
I went recency, not
yeah.
old. Yeah.
Oh my God. Not you going recency.
Yeah.
I meant times in which coaches have been fired too soon, Ryan. Then the coach coming in inherited basically this team.
Got it.
Now, they still have to win the games. The games still have to be played. All of that stuff is all true. But I believe, and for my hot take, should coaches who are removed and then the team immediately wins the championship be in some way compensated? It's very right.
Whoa.
I'm saying yes. This is why it's a hot take. But should coaches who are fired and then their team the next year wins the championship be compensated?
No, because it all goes back to how they play the game. Because, like you said, they have to win the games. They may be the same team, but not the same system that they're like running with plays and calls. And
again, this is why it's a hot take. I get that you were going to go the nature versus nurture kind of thing, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, those players wouldn't have played as effectively under the old system or the old coach, and the new coach is really what brought it into it. But it takes a very long time to turn teams over. It really does. There are very few exceptions. Even in the NBA, you look at why everybody's worried about Golden State moving forward. They can't start trading picks like they used to be able to, and that cap hit is massive, and it's not as easy to do what they did years ago where they just flopped the entire team and leveraged the future.
Because of their tax situation, if they can bring everyone back next year, they will be paying $400 million for that team, the team that got bounced in the second round.
And they probably won't.
I imagine not, but
whether it be football, NBA, MLB, maybe the outlier being Major League Baseball in this situation. But I mean, you definitely you see it in hockey.
Different across sports. I think different sports.
Is it though? Because think about what I'm asking. And unless they get fired for like a very valid reason, what you were just trying to reference a minute ago, Ryan, which is not what I was talking about. Unless that coach is fired for like an extremely valid reason, if they've been there for 3 years, 4 years, they've built this team, they put them together, they get fired because they didn't win fast enough. A new coach comes in and they immediately win a championship.
I'm still gonna have to stay by my answer and say no.
I know I'm inviting a hot take, guys.
You're I think it's an extremely contrarian take because
that's what a hot take would be.
I get it.
Yeah. How is that?
Well, how many times has this really happened? Where like the exact
you bring up the
next
Bucks
year,
and Gruden. That would be the one with Tony Dungy's team.
Bucks
That's the
and
one
Gruden,
you can think of for sure.
You have Dwayne Casey leaving the Toronto Raptors and Nick Nurse winning the next year with them.
Dallas,
yeah.
Look at the jersey I'm wearing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this has happened all that often. Is the only thing.
But that's my point. Then how often do those teams actually win the next year?
I agree with you. I think that inevitably in a bad season, there has to be a scapegoat. We always want to scapegoat someone. Right now,
We have a quick trigger finger, though, I think, now in sports with coaches than we've ever had before.
And I think that's what has me concerned.
for sure. Like I don't think Doc Rivers is a bad coach. The likelihood that he gets through the end of this week still being the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers is probably the lowest it's been in 3 years.
Well, and who just got fired?
Monty Williams just got dismissed from the Suns after winning Coach of the Year last year.
Yeah, Bud got fired after
That's what I want to understand is like they're so quick to have like fire coaches, like they're just nothing after doing good things.
There are things that make sense in the, at least I can speak to the NBA side of this. Matt Ishbia is the new owner of the Phoenix Suns. New owner syndrome. They always want to make a big splash. That's the Kevin Durant trade. And then they want to install people that they wanted in there instead of the coaching staff that they inherited. That happens a lot. So like that one doesn't make that much splash.
Okay.
But they could be a good contender because if Nick Nurse goes there and they still have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and they win the title next year, this would be a perfect example of like, I don't think this was Monty Williams' fault. Now, Coach Bud has the long history of Coach Bud is he doesn't make adjustments ever. He wants them to run their stuff, and it really works during the regular season, and it really does not work in the playoffs.
When you have to make adjustments.
When you have to make adjustments. And the only reason it worked was because Giannis was the best player in the NBA that season, and so there was just no stopping him. So that one makes sense as well. But you bring up a valid point. I think it's the context, right? The Kansas City Chiefs were largely the exact same offense with Alex Smith as quarterback, and then they removed Alex Smith and put Patrick Mahomes in there, and all of a sudden we're going to the AFC Championship for 5 straight years.
Well, that's changing a player.
It's changing a player.
Not what I'm talking about.
It's not, but you're changing one little piece, but largely everything remained the same.
Okay, so we think the Bucs would have been exactly the same without Tom Brady?
No.
You see my point?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I do. But I do think it was a massive drop-off.
You would never say, hey, we should. In fact, I believe you were touting the fact that they finally went from Alex Smith.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, great dude, could not throw downfield. Yeah,
I think there has to be a scapegoat for a lot of franchises, and the head coach becomes them because you can't necessarily just fire the players.
All I hear is a whole bunch of people wanting to say yes, but they don't know how to say it.
I stuck with no.
I think that if Russell Westbrook gets a ring this year because he played on the Lakers and the Lakers win, then yes, I think coaches, if the next season, I think they should be at least compensated with some sort of recognition of being a part of it. You get one season. After that, it no longer has your fingerprints on it.
All right.
I'm going to say no.
All right, guys, we're leaving it in your hands.
But am I saying yes, they should, or no, they shouldn't?
No, Ryan.
Should coaches who are fired and their former team wins the title next year, should they be compensated? Yes, they should.
Compensated
They
how?
shouldn't. You should compensate it.
You're answering your own question.
No, I'm putting it in the poll.
Yeah, you're answering your own question. There's only 2 answers to this, yes or no. It's a yes or no question, Ryan.
I don't do good with yes or no questions. That's
I
the
know.
media. We don't like yes or no questions.
Yeah, don't phrase it in the way in which you want the person to answer.
So should coaches who are fired and their former team wins the title the next year be compensated?
Is that kind of dumbing it down?
Or recognized?
It's just the phrasing.
Yeah.
No, all right, we'll figure out the phrasing and then we'll get the poll.
I would say if a longtime coach is fired, because this is not someone that was there for a year. If a longtime coach is fired from a team and that roster wins a title the next season, should they be compensated? Yes or no?
I would say yes. Because I doubt that they're installing a completely different...
This isn't every time a coach gets fired. It's when a coach has built this team up and the situations that they're pointing at. Like, these are all situations where it's like that team was brought in over the course of several years by a head coach, and then another head coach won with said team. Not that head coach didn't do anything, but should the coach that got fired be compensated?
Was Doug Peterson on his first year when the Eagles won?
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
That's a great one. That's a good. I was trying to think
You
of
see
like
what I'm
more.
saying?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I know that this is a tricky one, but we need your answer. Yes or no. Go to the poll. Make sure you vote. And as always, thank you for listening to The Quad with Chris Young. I'm Chris. From Haley, myself, producer Josh, and Ryan, we love you guys. Keep listening. Rate, subscribe, review, do all the things. Tell your friends. And we're out.